They say it only takes a little faith to move a mountain. Well, good thing a little faith is all I have right now. God, when you choose to leave mountains unmovable.
So the month of February is actually American Heart Month for people like me who have congenital heart conditions. My condition is called tetralogy of Fallot. I was born a blue baby. I just learned the other day that not everyone, I guess, that has this condition is born a blue baby. And I don't know how many are, so I don't want to say statistics because I don't know. But I know that I was. And so basically I was born blue, which means I didn't have enough oxygen in my brain. I was born about 5 weeks early. I was 3 pounds, 12 ounces, and I am literally thankful to be here today. You can live with this heart condition, but so basically at 20 days old, I had to get what's called a Blatelock shunt. It keeps the baby alive until you are even like big enough and your heart is strong enough to get the first repaired open heart surgery, which happened to me at a year and a half. I think it was like 16 months. I was in an incubator for that long. I was probably in the hospital for the first 2-ish years of my life. Before the surgery, I know I had TET spells. Basically, TET spells are when you have trouble feeding. You put the knees up to the chest because anything that I would do would make me out of breath. I would completely turn blue. I just I wasn't strong enough for a lot of things. Eating was very hard. It was hard for me to eat without.
Definitely not a problem now.
I know, right? Well, it just made me really tired and really out of breath. Crying was one thing they were worried about. Literally would make me turn blue. So before the open heart surgery, if a 12-month-old wanted a sucker, girls getting a sucker, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what happens. But they really had to do everything to keep me good and well and alive. The open heart surgery was successful. I really should know what it's called. It's something bypass. But if you look up tetralogy of Fallot, it'll tell you. And I'm sorry, I will get better at this and I'll be able to explain it more. But it's like 4 different heart defects, and I can tell you that. I will say that I do see a pediatric cardiologist yearly. That's really important. My heart is strong, and with tetralogy of Fallot, oftentimes as you grow, you know. Yeah?
Did you say pediatric?
Yes.
Like for kids?
Yes.
Oh, can you explain why?
Oh, yes, I will in just a minute. So,
okay.
Okay. So, I will say a lot of times with the actual heart condition, when you are late teens, early 20s, and I have been told pretty much no later than that, they need to do a second surgery, which is a pulmonary valve. Yeah, so what happens is, that's what my doctor was talking about. Basically, they'll do a cardiac MRI and they'll do other things to see if you need that. But eventually what happens is it's not like a full-on repair surgery, but it's basically like...
Are they just replacing the valve?
Yeah, because you can't live without it. It gets too narrow, and then, so therefore you're not breathing well. Like, you have, like, shortness of breath, or your heart beats, your arrhythmias. You're having arrhythmias that won't stop.
Right, yeah.
And so, when you start having signs and symptoms like that, that is serious. And we were told you can't live without that second surgery, because, I mean, think about it. If you're narrow, you can't. It's not pumping blood how it should, and the heart's working too hard.
Right.
Obviously, I've been checked every year, including this last summer. And as of right now, I don't need it. It almost makes me emotional, but in a good way, and that's why I'm going to be 40 really, really soon this month. We'll talk about it later. But that's why I talk a lot about it, because I know welcome to the 40s club. I get that. But for me, it's so much more, because I look at this heart condition and how I've not ever needed the second heart surgery. We pray I never do. If I do, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because I'm not in control, God is, but we pray that I never do. I've also been told if you don't have to get heart surgery, don't, but we also need to be aware that that's what it is. That's part of tetralogy flow, right? So,
I know you say, you hear this all the time, people call you a miracle, and it's honest truth, because all the stuff you've gone through and you're still alive at almost 40 years old, that's a miracle. Just be honest.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of babies that wouldn't even survive the blue baby syndrome.
Yeah, that's really scary, because
Yeah,
your fingertips, everything gets blue, it's hard. And some babies can have like morphine. I can't have that. I'm highly allergic.
Yeah.
They found out when I was I'm already a blue baby, and they were giving me that, and I was not
darn.
breathing, and they're like, okay.
Double-edged sword there on that one.
Yeah, so can't have that. But anyway, so back to, and what Heath asked me, why do I see a pediatric cardiologist? So there's a couple reasons. Number one, tetralogy of flow is actually a pediatric heart condition.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's what Dr.
didn't know
Elbow
that.
told me. So Dr. Elbow, if you ever see this, that was my first pediatric cardiologist for 28 years. Guys, he's amazing. Literally helped do my surgery. So we were told by them that that is.
Oh, okay.
Like at the time, they had a
I didn't
lady
know that.
who was in the children's hospital. She was like 83.
Yeah.
That was like their oldest patient.
Uh-huh.
And I think she wasn't even a little person. She was just
Wow.
had tetralogy.
Yeah.
Now they do have like the adult doctors, but it's a
Well,
pediatric condition.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're born with it. It's not something that happens later. So they have to do the surgery as a baby, so that's why it's a pediatric condition versus like if you're gonna get something later on in life.
Gotcha.
Because you have to be born with tetralogy. You don't.
I understand.
It doesn't happen later
yeah.
on. Also, obviously, my size is quite little. So
You don't say.
right. So with my condition, because of my little person syndrome and everything, I haven't outgrown my heart surgery. That is the actual prayer. My pediatric cardiologist, he said, I don't think you will ever grow out of your heart surgery, but I hope you never do.
So would you say that your little person syndrome has helped that?
Oh, absolutely. Because if I was the typical size of a 40-year-old,
Yeah.
it would probably be very different today.
Right.
And I'm not saying the surgery isn't successful. Like, don't take, because I've heard stories of people who've gotten the surgery and they're not as tired. It's
Right.
really successful.
Right.
It's not like you don't go in there thinking you're not going to come out of the surgery. But if we're being real, it's
Yeah.
always something that is scary. It's always something that you never know, right? Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, any surgery's
it
concerning and risky.
yeah,
So,
and especially on the heart. So that's why. So the surgery is really successful, but on the same token, you don't want to do it unless you have to, because you can have side effects after the surgery.
Right.
And the other thing with the surgery is, and I've been told by the cardiologist I had like
Yeah.
2 years ago, he's super nice too. He said once you do get that surgery, though, highly you have to get it every 5 to 10 years, because
Oh, really?
what happens is it kind of
It just continue.
you have to
killing
get
the
it
vessel?
unnarrowed. It gets
Gotcha.
narrow again, and I think once you get that heart surgery, it kind of like, how do I explain this? It's kind of like, it's not like the repaired is repaired, right?
Well,
But
right.
then once you kind of, I don't want to say irritate, because they're fixing something, but once you kind of mess with something, it needs to be
Well,
fixed again.
it's just like anything, just in general. After the years of wear and tear
Yeah, that's
and all that, it's going to wear
is.
down. So,
Yeah,
and when somebody has a heart problem like yourself, or anybody that has
Mm-hmm.
your disease,
yeah.
it's going to cause that to happen because it's just going to be defective.
Yeah. And so that to me is one of the scariest things too, is knowing that, because not only is it like you have to get it every 5 to 10 years,
Yeah.
you start feeling symptoms of out of breath. Like I would get up off the bed, I'd walk to the dresser, I'd be out of breath. That's a scary thing to think about.
It is.
Or like the heart arrhythmias. That's really scary to think about. You know, I don't think about it every day because thankfully I don't experience that.
Yeah.
But that is a prayer that I always pray that doesn't happen, because I do genuinely believe in miracles. Now, I'm not saying I do have this heart condition. I don't say, oh, I pray it goes away.
Right.
You know what? I have this heart condition. This is how God made me, and that's okay. I just pray that I don't experience, you know, symptoms that a typical adult would. And for those who have and who are seeing this video, if you do, I'm definitely not saying anything, you know, that goes against what you need to do, because if I was an adult size, it would be very different for me. And I'm not even saying it would be bad.
Yes.
I'm not saying it'd be bad, but generally speaking, and I'm just telling you what I've learned and I've been told by the doctors. You can have successful, everyone's different, but it could be different and it could be a little more challenging. And that's why I'm super thankful that I don't, and that's will always be our prayer. So that's why me turning 40 is a big deal, because I mean, with anybody turning 40 without any disabilities or medical challenges, whatever it is,
it's amazing.
It's already a big deal anyway.
Yeah.
So like when you sit there and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't had that second surgery, my heart's not working too hard. That is what I think about, you guys. I think about that because I'm not thinking about being in the doctor. I'm literally thinking about my life right now.
Now, I don't know if you know the statistics or not, but do you know what the lifespan is that normally runs with your condition?
I don't really know.
Okay.
One thing I can tell you is that I've been told by the doctors that, you know, they've had, like I said, they've had adults live up to, you know, 70, 80 years old, you know, normal rate. So I don't think it's like, from my knowledge, unless you have some serious issues where something's gone wrong, you waited too long to get the surgery, you know, something like that, then there's problems. But the lifespan of the actual condition, I think it's pretty normal.
Oh, okay.
And again, I think that the difference with me and a typical adult is it is normal, but it is not normal for someone who hasn't had that second surgery.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get at too. But your question did make sense. That's a really good question.
Well, the other question I have is with you not having the other surgery, but do you think that you live just as normal life as somebody that would have the second surgery? Like, because you can live pretty much a normal life, right? You just have to take other precautions.
I think so. That's a good question. I'll say yes and I don't know. I can't say yes and no because I don't.
Right.
The reason I say yes is because with my heart condition, you're right how I live a normal life for the most part. I mean, I do have chronic asthma. I do have an inhaler, but I do, for my heart-wise, I do live with precautions. There's certain things you got to be aware of.
Well, of course.
Just like, you know, with all the other exercising and things I do. But I'm not limited with my heart. My heart, I'm not limited in the fact that I'm not able to do it because my heart's not good.
Right.
It's more of other issues, basically.
Gotcha.
Like the low salt and all that stuff.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I do live a normal life. Now, hold on, I gotta finish. Don't forget what you're gonna say.
No, I won't.
But I will say I don't know, because when you asked me what about the second surgery, I don't really know. For one, I haven't had the second surgery.
Right.
And for two, if there are side effects from the second surgery, which I have been told there are, I mean, I've told it's been successful. Like, people, you know, aren't tired.
Yes.
But then again, within time, they may have symptoms and signs and then need it again. So I don't have that, and that almost gives me, like, chills to think about.
Right.
So I'd say I don't know that it's better or worse. I would almost say that I'm better off.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm small, and I don't want to say that in disrespect to anyone else who's had the surgery or needs it, because if if I wasn't little like this, and if it wasn't, you know, it could be different. Now, I want to say really quickly before I forget, there could be people out there who are little who still need it. So I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm just speaking for myself and what has happened in my life and for me.
Right.
What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, so is the salt issue that you have, is that part of the heart problem?
I have been told by the heart
issue?
doctor, yes, it is, because that's where I got diagnosed with. I got dosed with syncope, which is low salt. So if I don't have enough salt in my daily diet, I can pass out. It's called a syncope episode.
Right.
They're not fun. So specifically, the heart is still fine, but my blood pressure is getting too low. And like there was one time my blood pressure was like 70 over something, and they were like, dude, you need salt. Anyway, so I just kind of want to talk a little bit about that and say happy Heart Month to everyone, because it is a happy month. If you're struggling, we're gonna pray for you. If you are doing well, still gonna pray for you. Awesome. It's hard because I never want to say anything on here that could, affect someone else with the exact same condition I have. Because I know for me, if I'm looking at something, I'm like, dude, I have epilepsy, and I don't do that. But I don't get offended just because I realize it's different for everyone. But I also want to be kind in how I, approach the topic, because there can be 100 people with tetralogy of Fallot and 10 cannot have surgery and the rest of you can. So everyone with tetralogy of Fallot, I feel like, does get the open heart repaired surgery, because I don't think if you do, you can't live. But as far as the second surgery and beyond, that's where we're at.
Nice.
So, anyway, thank you guys for watching this video, and see you next time.
Click.
Click.